Muy buenas, gente. Bueno, estamos aquí con el quinto capitulito de nuestra serie de nave. Y bueno, estamos haciendo algunas de las misiones secundarias, como veis aquí en el diario. Una de las que quería hacer de primera era la de la consorte, ¿vale? Que nos mandó a hablar con un tal Septimus, que por lo visto había tenido un problema de que él se creía que tenían una relación y tal. Y bueno, la está molestando y quiere que hablemos con Septimus. Esa es una de las misiones. Otra de las que teníamos, así era la petición de la reportera de Emily Wong, que nos pidió los datos de la corrupción de puño. Y bueno, los cogimos allí, estaban en la caja cuando entramos en la habitación. Y bueno, vamos a hacer estas dos misiones secundarias y ya después pues vamos a ir a hablar con el embajador, que nos está esperando en la cubierta de atranque para darnos una nave espacial y equipo para poder seguir al tipo, ¿vale? A Saren. Bueno, vamos a ir a ver, vamos a mirar el mapa. Está aquí, ¿vale? El general Séptimo, que es el que tenemos que hablar. Vamos a ir a hablar con él. Por aquí. Parece ser que está en el antro de Chora. Sí, efectivamente está en el antro de Chora. Vamos por aquí. A ver. Aquí lo tenemos, General Septimus. Vamos a hablar con él.
Commander, what do you want?
I'm here on Shaira's behalf. Your lies are hurting her.
Good! Her lies have been killing me for days. I've seen a lot of horrible things in my days, and there's only one woman in this damn galaxy that helps me
Que se
forget.
quedó enamorado.
This is the Great Turian General. How did your kind ever defeat us?
I may be drunk, Krogan, but you're ugly. And tomorrow I'll be sober. Unless you have a cure for this ache in my
Qué bueno
gut.
eso.
Go away.
Es patético.
Some general. What kind of
Quiero hacer
example
las
are you
misiones
to your
secundarias
troops?
porque nos van a dar puntos de rebeldía que la vamos a necesitar. Entonces quiero hacer algunas misiones secundarias y estas son interesantes porque luego tienen bastante relevancia más adelante del juego y tal.
Don't waste your time.
Bueno, como veis tenemos aquí la opción de darle a la opción de virtud, pero no podemos porque no tenemos virtud desbloqueada, pero sí que podemos la de rebeldía. Vamos a darle.
Never let the enemy see your weakness. You know that, General.
Enemies. The one place I always felt at peace was with her. But now, so you think it's that easy? Just straighten up and act like a general?
It's better than sitting on your ass all
Por
day.
eso me encanta llevar a Grex, porque le da
Maybe
caña a
you're
todo
right,
el mundo.
Commander. Shaira's worth the effort, even if she won't have
Por
me
fin.
back.
Now get up and get moving, General.
All right,
Parece
I'll
ser
go
que al
to
final
her
le hemos ayudado y todo.
after I've had a cold shower or two. Say, you're a bright kid. Would you be interested in earning a few extra credits?
Depende.
What do you want me to do?
There's an L-Corps diplomat out there who believes Shaira gave up his secrets.
Why would he think such a thing?
Because I
Vale,
told
este es
him. Look, I just need you to
con
convince
el
him of
primero
the
que
truth.
hablamos, ¿de acuerdo? Y
Why can't you tell him yourself?
cuando empezamos con la misión, el embajador Elco
I was disparaging his ancestors and shouting his secrets in public. Take this data pad. It shows where I got my info. It will exonerate Shaira and convince the Elk.
lo vamos a hacer, unos
Who am
van a
I
dar
taking it to?
unos
Where is he?
dineritos.
His
Y
name is
además
Zaltan.
Seira nos
He's
lo
an
va a
Elk-Corps
agradecer.
diplomat. He's over in the embassies complaining about Shaira. Well, here's to soldiers acting like soldiers. Thanks, Commander. You know, you might make a good general yourself one day.
Algún día dice, lo somos ya. Flipao. Belecito. Ahí tenemos a la tipa dándolo todo. La vamos a ir. Y bueno, vamos a proseguir con la misión. Vamos a sacar la pistolita para correr un poquito más. Bueno. Por aquí. Y vamos a ir directamente a la embajada. Vamos a coger el taxi, que está aquí. Y vamos a ir directos a la embajada. Bueno, no estaba tan ahí el taxi. Vamos a coger de aquí arriba. A ver. Se me ha ido el dedo, vamos a ir al Presidium, a la embajada. Bueno, vamos a seguir. Está junto a la embajada humana, así que es por aquí.
Allow me to be your guide.
Por aquí, y es esa puerta. Bueno, aquí lo tenemos.
Strange greeting, human. This is really not a good time.
Puedo ayudarte.
I know who revealed your secret. It was a Turian named Septimus.
Unbelieving, I know this Septimus, and he could not learn my secrets. The only way he could learn them is from the Asari consort.
You are mistaken. See this here if you don't believe us.
Confused. This is difficult to fathom.
Siempre lo primero que pone, digamos que es su estado de ánimo. Vale, no son capaces de reflejar los sentimientos y siempre ponen primero cómo se sienten y después hablan.
Just make sure you leave Shaira out of it from now on.
Agreed, most assuredly.
Bueno, ya hemos ayudado a la consorte por segunda vez y nos lo va a agradecer ahora.
Startled realization.
Ya sabéis cómo, ¿no, gente?
I must speak with the consort. She will be most displeased with my actions. Anxious request. Please, human, if you will excuse me, I must go now.
Pues muy bien.
So long.
Farewell, human. Thankful. That was a great thing you did, Commander.
Agradecido. Y luego habla. Y luego pone con aprobación. Y
You
luego
see,
habla.
then not all humans are as you say.
I'm sure you're
Han dado 14 de experiencia y 50 créditos. Y ahora vamos a coger el taxi y vamos a ir a la sala de la consorte. Por aquí.
Welcome to the Presidium. Allow me to be your
Ahí
guide.
está el taxi. Sala del Presidium. Y a la sala de la consorte. Ah, dijimos también que íbamos a ir al banco. Me quiero llegar. Lo tenemos aquí al lado. Pero primero vamos a llegarnos aquí.
Septimus has sent word. Apparently, he sought the consort's forgiveness.
That's right. It was a long time ago, though. I barely remember. What drew you back to the city and to the consort?
Aquí. Y aquí está la consorte. Bueno, esto es bastante importante que sigáis la conversación así más o menos, porque si no, no nos va a dar lo que necesitamos, ¿de acuerdo?
Commander, I recently received a lovely note from Septimus. Thank you for speaking with him. Even the Alcor diplomat has withdrawn his campaign against me.
Ha sido un placer.
It was my honor to aid you.
You are too kind, Commander, but I would not expect you to help me out of the kindness of your heart. I also have one more thing to give you, if you are interested.
Me interesa.
I'd be honored.
I offer a gift of words, an affirmation of who you are and who you will become. I see you. Your uniform fits as though you were born wearing it. You are a soldier through and through, proud, solitary, alone, but it gives you strength. You never hide your strength either. It serves you well, terrifies your foes. Few will dare to stand against you. This may be who you are, but it is not who you will become. It only forms the basis for your future greatness. Remember these words when doubt
Bueno, aquí
descends,
tenemos que
Commander.
darle a eso es todo, ¿de acuerdo? No podemos darle las gracias, tenemos que decir como eso es todo. Eso es lo que me va a dar por todo lo que te ha ayudado.
Thanks, I guess.
Y aquí es cuando
Close your
desbloqueamos.
eyes and relax, Commander.
Si hablamos cualquier cosa, no sucede esto, ¿de acuerdo? Aquí viene Ñiqui. Un poquito romanticón para mi gusto, pero bueno. Lo importante es que hemos tenido una relación con la consorte. Le ha gustado por lo visto.
Here, Commander. In light of your efforts with the
Y
Elder
esto es lo que nos
Ambassador,
interesa, ¿de
I would
acuerdo?
like you to have this small
Si
treat.
no, no nos da esto.
What is it?
A small mystery. I have never learned its use or purpose, but I sense it is time for me to pass it on. And now I must ask you to leave. I have done everything I can for you.
De acuerdo.
Remember my words,
Bueno, ¿no han dado
Commander
puntos de virtud? Sí,
They will
pero
give
lo
you
importante es
strength.
que no ha dado la llave. Si no hablamos así, no nos va a dar esa llave, ¿vale? Nos ha dado una baratija que es una llave que necesitamos para más tarde, ¿de acuerdo? Bueno, vamos a continuar. Por aquí vamos a llegarnos al banco. Que no estoy seguro si tenemos que hacer algo allí en el banco. De todas maneras quiero desbloquear el tema de... A ver, ¿qué me dice esta? ¿Me cuenta?
Hello again. The consort is very pleased with everything that you have done for her.
Any chance I can move up on her client list? I did help her out.
Yeah, she is grateful for your assistance.
Vamos, que ya no quiere saber la
you
consorte
have
nada de
already
nosotros.
been rewarded for helping her.
Básicamente.
The client list is a separate matter, and her schedule is completely booked for the next several months.
I think I'm done here.
Of course, come back anytime.
Bueno, vamos a seguir. Y bueno, el banco está por aquí. Una carrerita. Ahora esto no tiene salida, ¿no? Sí, sí que tiene. Por aquí. Aquí tenemos cuidado, le vamos a dar. Que necesitamos esos créditos que nos van a dar. Los créditos son el dinero, ¿de acuerdo? Y un poquito de experiencia. Bueno, también vamos a hablar con este, porque tenemos que hablar con todos los tenderos y comprarle los derechos de compra, ¿de acuerdo?
Ah,
Vamos a ver.
human. This one is greatly pleased to see you here in my decadent emporium. Who are you? This one's face name is Delaninder, though many in this place simply refer to it as Delan. Please take time to examine the fine goods it has for purchase, all of great worth. Show me your items. Oh, this one is pleased to do so, human.
Creo que es
You will
una
not be
raza,
disappointed.
no sé si se llama Emporio, ahora veremos cómo se llama, pues no me acuerdo cómo se llama. Bueno, aquí tenemos las mejoras, los objetos estándar y las armaduras no humanas, ¿de acuerdo? Esto nos interesa, porque este es el único tío que nos vende armaduras para nuestros compañeros extraterrestres. Tenemos Turiana, Krogan, Turiana y Krogan. No nos interesa ninguna, yo quiero una para la Tali. Vamos
Commander,
a comprar algo,
show
vamos
me
a
your
darle
items.
artículos
Oh, this
estándar.
one is pleased.
Y bueno, vamos a tener pesada, media humana, ligera humana. Tenemos aquí una que, bueno, como veis cuesta 10.000. Tenemos solo 1.800, así que nada. Pero esto es lo que yo quiero comprar, ¿vale? La licencia de Cynthia esta. ¿Qué vamos a hacer con esto? Con esto vamos a hacer que desde las naves que nos van a dar ahora podamos acceder a estos objetos, ¿de acuerdo? También podemos vender algunos objetos que tengamos.
Commander, it is good to see you again. Would you care to see some of its fantastic items? Show me your items.
Bueno, vamos a ver
Oh,
las
this
mejoras.
one is-
A ver qué nos dan. No, nos dan sellado y tejido endurecido, nada. Bueno, ya hemos hablado con este, que eso nos interesaba, ya lo he dicho. Y a ver por aquí. Vamos a subir. Aquí tenemos esto. Y bueno, vamos a bajar. Aquí tendremos que venir luego más para adelante, una misión secundaria. Y este es el banco. Aquí tenemos a Barlabón. El Elcor.
What's this?
El
One of
Elcor
the
no,
Earth
perdón.
Clan. Ah, a very famous one, yes? You are the one called
Joder, no me sale el
Shepherd.
nombre.
You were at
Los Elcor
Torfan,
son los bichos esos
correct?
raros que
You led the final assault against
hablaban
the
antes ahí
enemy
arriba,
base.
que comentaban
Memory
su estado
serves.
de ánimo. Estos son los... Ah, no me sale ahora mismo. ¿Me estás espiando?
I don't like
Bueno,
strangers
este
keeping
tipo
tabs on me.
es un agente del corredor
Forgive me,
sombrío, ¿vale? El
Earth
corredor sombrío ya
My name
dijimos
is Barda
que es
Vaughn.
un
My
espía
job makes it
que lo que hace es
necessary
que
for
vende
me to keep
información
informed.
a cualquier bando. Le da igual, él no
I
tiene
am a
amigos
financial
ni
advisor to
enemigos.
many
Él
important
simplemente
clients here on the Citadel.
tiene una información,
When someone as
consigue
important
información
as
y la vende al
yourself
mejor
arrives
postor.
on the station, I take notice.
Vamos a preguntarle por el
Tell me more
corredor
about the
sombrío.
Shadow Broker.
Most people think I deal in finances, but my real currency is knowledge. I trade information, and it has made me very wealthy. But the Shadow Broker is the true master. Every day he buys and sells secrets that could topple governments, always giving them to the highest bidder. Yet somehow he never seems to upset the natural balance of power. All those secrets being passed around seem to even out. Nobody ends up with an advantage in the end.
Any guess what his identity might be?
I don't know. Nobody does. The Shadow Broker could be any race, any gender. I have a theory that it's actually an entire group working under one identity. How else could they juggle so many contacts at the same time? How else could they keep all that information from getting crossed? But they've got the perfect setup. Every government is forced to play their game so they don't get behind. But no matter how long you play, no matter how many secrets you buy, you can never win.
Pero tú
I
eres
thought you'd
agente.
know more about the man you work for.
From time to time I come across information I sell to the Shadow Broker. That's my only involvement. I like it that way.
A este tipo no lo vamos a
The more you
encontrar
know, the more
varias veces en
dangerous
el
the
juego,
game becomes.
en las distintas
I
sagas.
don't like danger, Commander. I'll leave that to you.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Bueno, ya hemos hablado con él. Y ahora lo que vamos a hacer es coger el taxi y nos vamos a ir directamente a la sala de embarque. No nos vamos a parar a nada. Los distritos, el Sec C. Y nos vamos a ir a por nuestra nueva nave. Cubierta de atranque, por aquí está el ascensor. A ver si me confundo con el otro.
In breaking news, Chairman Burns of the Parliament Subcommittee on Transhuman Studies has been kidnapped by biotic extremists. The biotics commandeered a freighter and were last seen in the Hades Gamma Cluster. No demands have yet been made.
Bueno, esto es información para una misión secundaria. En el cúmulo de Hades ha sido secuestrado un humano por un grupo de terroristas, por lo visto, de fanáticos. Así que luego nos pasaremos por allí. Ahora vamos a ir con nuestra misión principal. No me quiero parar a hacer más misiones secundarias. Ya hemos hecho un par de ellas hoy. Ay, se me ha olvidado hablar con Emily Wong. Bueno, da igual. Ya volveremos, como tenemos que venir más veces. Vamos a hablar ya con el embajador.
I've got big news for you, Shepard. Captain Anderson is stepping down as commanding officer of the Normandy. The ship is yours now.
Y nos han dado la nave.
She's quick and quiet, and you know the crew. Perfect ship for a Spectre. Treat her well, Commander.
¿Retiro forzoso?
This isn't right. The Normandy belongs to you.
You needed your own ship. A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. And it's time for me to step down.
Debe de haber algo más.
Come clean with me, Captain. You owe me that much.
I was in your shoes 20 years ago, Shepard. They were considering me for the Spectres.
No me habías dicho nada.
Why didn't you ever mention this?
What was I supposed to say? I could have been a Spectre, but I blew it? I failed, Commander. It's not something I'm proud of. Ask me later and I'll tell you the whole story. For now, all you need to know is, I was sent on a mission with Saren, and he made sure the Council rejected me. I had my shot. It came and went.
Bueno, pues por lo visto le
Now you
pasó
have the
igual
chance to make
poco
up for my
que a
mistakes.
nosotros. Que Saren se metió por medio para que para que nosotros, para que Capitán Anderson no fuera espectro. Eso está todo en el primer libro, todo lo que ocurre, leéroslo. Bueno, Saren pagará por ello.
Saren's not going to get away this time.
Saren's gone. Don't even try to find him. But we know what he's after. The conduit. He's got his Geth scouring the Traverse looking for clues.
We had reports of Geth in the Pharaoh system shortly before our colony there dropped out of contact, and there have been sightings around Noveria.
Find out what Saren was after on Pharos and Noveria. Maybe you can figure out where the conduit is before he does.
¿Y los segadores?
The Reapers are the real threat.
I'm with the Council on this one, Shepard. I'm not sure they even exist.
But if they do exist, the conduit's the key to bringing them back. Stop Saren from getting the conduit, and we stop the Reapers from
Ya
returning.
estoy en ello.
I'll stop him.
We have one more lead. Matriarch Benezia, the other voice in that recording. She has a daughter, a scientist who specializes in the Protheans.
Esta es la primera misión que vamos
We
a ir.
don't
Vamos a ir a
know if
buscar a
she's
la hija de la
involved, but it
matriarca.
might be a
¿De
good
acuerdo?
idea
La
to try and
matriarca es
find
la
See what she
Sari que
knows.
está con
Her
Saren.
name's Liara, Dr. Liara Tassoni.
Liara Tassoni.
We have reports she was exploring an archaeological dig on one of the uncharted worlds in the Artemis Tau cluster.
Ir a Noveria.
Maybe I can get to Noveria before the Geth.
It's your decision, Commander. You're a Spectre now. You don't answer to us.
But your actions still reflect on humanity as a whole. You make a mess and I get stuck cleaning it up.
I'll take care of
Para eso
Saren.
te pagan,
You take
padre.
care of the political fallout.
Not exactly the answer I was looking for, Shepard. Remember, you were a human long before you were a Spectre. I have a meeting to get to. Captain Anderson can answer any questions you might have.
Bueno, dado 2 puntos de rebeldía por esto. Vamos a preguntarle.
Yes, Commander.
¿Trabajaste con los
I want to
expertos?
know the truth about you and Saren. I want to know about the mission you were on together all those years ago.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of
¿Y qué
bloodshed.
salió mal?
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned.
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
¿Buen plan? No me jodas. Bueno,
He was smart. You needed a diversion.
This went way beyond a simple diversion, Commander. The explosion tore the refinery to shreds. The whole place was on fire. Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived. There was a camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians. Saren didn't care. The target was eliminated. Mission accomplished. And I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectres.
te echaron la culpa.
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
Eso no es justo.
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to listen to? Me? Or their best agent? I had a bad feeling about him right from the start. I should have been more careful. Maybe I could have stopped things before they
En
got out of
verdad,
hand.
él se metió, no se separaron para cubrir más terreno, sino que él entró. Se supone que Saren le había dado una media hora para que entrara porque había una humana y el capitán Anderson lo que quería era, había una humana secuestrada, lo que quería era entrar para rescatar a la humana, ¿de acuerdo? Que era amiga suya. Y Saren, en vez de esperar la media hora que le prometió, pues entró a los 10 minutos y entró liando la parda, ¿de acuerdo? Entonces luego puso la bomba en el motor de la refinería, todo aquello salió ardiendo
Don't blame yourself,
y
Captain.
bueno, la
I
lió
don't.
parda, le echó la culpa
I
a
blame
este
Saren.
y está a la calle.
I think he wanted things to go bad. He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
Bueno,
The only thing I care about is stopping
exactamente,
Saren.
vámonos.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
What can you tell me about Noveria?
Novaria's trouble. Always has been. The whole planet's basically a center for corporations to conduct illegal research. Watch your back there, Shepard. Spectres are about the only form of citadel authority Noveria respects.
Vale, no es Noveria donde tenemos
But
que
they aren't
ir,
popular.
es...
What do you know about the Artemis Tau cluster?
Not much. I've never been there myself. A handful of systems with a few small, uncharted worlds, but no real colonies. Might not be easy finding Dr. Tassoni.
Aquí es donde tenemos que ir.
My advice is to look for the world with the Prothean ruins.
I should go.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Bueno, vamos a seguir. Nos vamos para la nave. Vamos a entrar, vamos a hablar con el equipo. Y vamos a ir hacia
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress.
I heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
Saren's out there somewhere, and we're gonna find him.
Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander. 100%. Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
Ahora lo haremos a mi manera.
Listen up, Normandy.
This is your commander speaking. We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. And I refuse to let anything get in the way of that mission.
The Council wants to ignore this.
That's no surprise. They've never helped us in the past. No reason they'd start now. But we don't need their help. We can do this on our own.
Wherever Saren goes, we'll follow.
Wherever he searches for the conduit, we'll be there. We will hunt him to the very ends of the galaxy and bring him down.
No tenemos elección.
This is the most important mission any of us have ever been on.
The fate of an entire galaxy is at stake. We will stop Saren, no matter what the cost.
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
The captain's not here. I'm in charge now, Joker, and time's wasting. Get this bird in the air.
Yes, sir.
Otro 2 puntos de rebeldía. Siempre importante. Vamos a examinar esto, que son puntos de experiencia y códice. Navegante Presley. No quiere hablar. No quiere hablar. Y vamos a bajar a hablar con la tripulación antes de iniciar ningún viaje. Primero con Kaidan Alenko, que lo tenemos aquí.
Anything you need, Commander?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance.
Bueno, este no quiere hablar.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
No quiere hablar. Pregunta personal, vamos a darle un segundo, coño. A ver.
Anything you need, Commander? I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for...
We'll talk another time.
Este no quiere hablar con nosotros. Vamos a seguir hablando. Garrus y Tali están abajo, se supone. Vamos a bajar. Y Grex, aquí está. Bueno, aquí no está Tali. Sí que está Tali ahí. Está más al fondo, bueno, da igual. Vamos a hablar primero con Garrus, nuevo miembro. Esta es la tienda que dije, ¿vale? Ahí tenemos para comprar y vender.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
Eso es cierto.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
¿Lo hiciste por eso?
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
Olvídalo.
You did the right thing. Life's too short to sit around waiting for things to happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
Bueno, otros punticos de experiencia y más códice. Aquí tenemos a Grex.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
Preguntas personales.
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
No sé si
you Krogan live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
Vamos a hablar.
They tried the same with us, but we fought them off.
It's not the same.
Claro que sí.
Seems similar enough to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
¿Y qué?
You're still here. It can't be all that bad.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Bueno, vamos a preguntar por la genofagia esta, que quiero que os
What can
sepáis
you
lo que
tell
es.
me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one, and no one's rushing to find a cure.
¿Cómo dice?
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
La extinción.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
¿Y?
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
So long, Rex.
Bueno, ya sabemos un poquito la historia de Grex. Quiero que os fijéis que cuando ha habla de la genofagia, ha dicho que bueno, que ese ha sido un problema, pero que no es lo que lo están matando. Más para adelante comentará el por qué ha dicho eso.
Commander?
¿Qué tal nos va? ¿Qué tal nos va?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Bueno, aquí no...
No offense. I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
Olvídalo.
They died, you lived. That happens in this job.
Yes, Commander. Believe me, I understand that. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an
Pues estate más
ambush.
alerta.
The answer seems plain enough to me. Be more alert.
Aye, aye, Commander. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
¿Podemos hablar?
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty. I wouldn't mind
Pues
talking.
bueno, nos vamos y ya está. Ya hemos hablado con la tripulación. Bueno, nos falta Tali, perdón, que está aquí al fondo. Que bueno, es una historia bastante interesante y tenemos que saber mucho sobre ello.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
Bueno, con ella no quiero ser borde.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
¿Te gustan las naves?
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most
No,
valuable
digamos que ellos no tienen planeta, ellos viven
But
en naves espaciales, en una flota enorme.
do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
Eso fue hace 300 años.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly.
Oh, man.
We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Vamos a preguntarle por los coreanos.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
¿Como cuáles?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births. Though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
¿Qué es el conclave?
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
¿Soy una democracia?
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case
Que
of
por mucho
emergency.
que diga el conclave, los que mandan son los almirantes, los 5 almirantes que tienen.
Only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Vamos a preguntarle sobre los Geths, que son los
I want to
robots.
know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Cuéntamela.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Vale, IA es la inteligencia artificial y lo que habla de los 4, el 4 es lo que estaba dentro de la ciudadela, eso que era una especie de holograma que te hablaba, pues eso es un 4, digamos que es una memoria y te responde a ciertas preguntas, pero él no puede pensar por sí mismo. La inteligencia artificial lo que tiene es que sí piensan por sí misma.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we
Vale, la
thought.
inteligencia artificial está prohibida por lo mismo, pues porque se pueden rebelar contra la vida orgánica y bueno, pues la pueden liar. Ellos se pueden fabricar, nosotros no, se pueden reparar, nosotros no, en fin.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Bueno, esto es importante, digamos que todos los Geth tienen una misma memoria.
Were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in the group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
No me entero de nada.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers.
Mientras más hay, más
As we
peligrosos
get
son.
more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
Claro, cuando los robots empezaron a preguntar el porqué de las cosas, pues
I don't see what's so
empezaron
bad
los
about those
problemas.
questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order
¿Y qué
violently.
esperabais?
You didn't really think they'd just let you destroy them without a fight, did you?
The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Lo tenéis bien merecido, va.
You got what you deserved.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place, but we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
No a todos, porque Saren sigue.
They didn't kill Saren.
What does that tell you? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they've joined up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
Bueno, vamos a dejarlo aquí, no vamos a preguntarle por el peregrinaje porque, bueno, ya sabemos lo que es.
See you later.
Y bueno, nos han dado bastante experiencia. Es que eso es muy importante, por eso tenemos que hablar.
Hey, Commander,
Bueno,
you
está
know
el
that
ingeniero.
Quarian Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
Me libraré de ella.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
es útil.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander. But I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Bueno, vamos a seguir.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Tengo que decir que mientras más hablemos, más experiencia nos van a dar, pero yo creo que vamos a dejar el capítulo aquí. Quería ir hasta donde está la doctora Liara Tisoni, que es la hija de la matriarca. Pero no, vamos a dejar el capítulo aquí, que ya llevamos unos 40 minutos así más o menos, supongo. Y bueno, vamos a quedarnos aquí de frente del... que hay que subir todavía más. Nos vamos a quedar aquí arriba. Y sí, aquí arriba, enfrente del mapa de la galaxia. Y bueno, en el capítulo de mañana, pues nada, veremos cómo funciona el sistema de navegación de la nave. Y bueno, iremos de viaje a buscar a la doctora Liara. Y bueno, ya pasarán unas poquillas cosas y tal, y ya lo veréis mañana. Like, favorito si os ha gustado, y suscribiros si queréis seguir la serie. Y bueno, nada, gente, venga, nos vemos mañana. Adiós.